So I was thinking, okay, so there's different levels of attunement. When did I first feel it? And what I was thinking is there's this woman. I grew up in Los Gatos, California, and there was this woman. My uncle was a writer for Rolling Stone, and he was kind of a hippie and Buddhist influenced, and but there was this woman who used to come around, and we don't know if they were dating. We don't know his sexuality, so I don't want to comment. But she would come around, and she was beautiful. She had this sleek hair, and she was a kind of a weekend model. And I remember this. I remember the feeling when she would walk into the room. I was probably 6, 7, something like that. And there was this feeling, and I remember distinctly thinking, she feels like peach fuzz. Everything about her feels like peach fuzz. And, Los Gatos was a little bit dry, and my house could be a little bit intense. And this woman would walk in, and just by her presence, everything, and she smelled good too. There were a lot of senses that were being touched, but the thing that was so powerful was that when she entered a room, there was a way. I was tight little kid. I had to go really fast and really intense. And there was this way that she would enter and time would dilate. And there was only her. There was only that softness in her presence. And I later found out, so she was also a Buddhist with my uncle, and she understood energies. That's how they explained it to me. She understood energies. And that feeling of, I can still see my kitchen, my 1970s kitchen that was that gold color and olive green. And I remember walking toward her, and I remember this feeling that just softness would open up. It was a pool of kind of peachy softness. And you would walk into it to get your hug. And as you got your hug, it was like she didn't have flesh, she didn't have bones, she just had something soft that enveloped you. And as it enveloped you, you changed as a result. I melted into her, and then when the hug was over, I was different. And that's the first. I was thinking, what is the first memory that I have of really profound attunement? Because I don't know that you experience it with your family. I mean, my mother's strong. I can feel that, but this was the first altered state of attunement that I felt. And then later, in life, I had this experience where I'm not sure that it'll go in perfect order, but I took a calm course. And in this course, you sit across from somebody, and you all you do is you focus on the person, and you note they're what are called vias. They're window dressings. So you note your eye twitched, you smiled, as you'd say silly things like, I'm going to get a banana, I'm going to get a banana. But they had to say it in this very straight way, and you stop them anytime that happened. And I remember there was this experience, and they said, oh, you may have trippy experiences. And I thought, like, oh, I don't know if I'm up for your hypnotism. But I remember the feeling like I was on a ship, and I had to hold on to my chair, because you have to focus. And whatever it is that takes that kind of focus, the rest of my mind relaxed. That's really fundamentally what happened. And when it did, there was a sense that I was melting into the other person, and they were melting into me. And there was just this field of light that we were inside of, and then it would close. And we did this for 9 hours, these crazy exercises. And I remember by the end of the day, one of my good friends, Bill, was my partner. That was when we really got to be friends, because I remember at the end of the day, there was this experience, and this was the experience I was always looking for. And it was the experience that neither one of us needed to talk, which I really liked, because I don't like a lot of conversation. Neither one of us needed to talk, but everything could go back and forth. And that feeling that you're always just a little bit out of step with everyone, or you're a little bit out of step with what's happening in a room, or that feeling, it amended. And everything in me began, and this was an attunement. That's what I think of it as. Everything in me attuned to him, and everything I believe in him attuned to me. And then that just created this space.